Imagine your food pipe runs through your brain. I'm not gonna lie, the octopus is one of those animals where you look at it and you don't even feel smart, you feel humbled. Because its entire blueprint is different. It's got three hearts, it's running around with copper based blood chemistry, so it's literally blue. And its brain is wrapped around the esophagus like a ring. Like donut brain sounds like a meme, but anatomically it's basically that. So the real question isn't why is it weird? The real question is what kind of evolutionary road produces a body plan like this? Welcome to the video. My name is Jeremiah Pouncey and this is my channel Through Jeremiah's Eyes. I hope that you enjoy, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe. The anatomy that makes no sense until it does. Octopi are cephalopods, so they're mollusks. Some major family neighborhood as snails and clams, which is already hilarious because most people mentally file mollusk under slow, simple, no thoughts, but absolutely not. And here's the first systems thinking move. You can't just judge intelligence by similarity to humans. You gotta judge it by problem pressure and you gotta judge it by design options. Now, cephalopods went down a path where they lost or reduced the protective shell that most of the mollusks rely on. And once you're soft-bodied in the ocean, you're basically telling predators, please don't perceive me. So they didn't evolve armor. They essentially tried to evolve some sort of solutions like agility, camouflage, sensory upgrades, and that's the part that people miss. It's a different kind of control system. For example, within the vet clinic, if a patient loses one protective layer, like a skin barrier is compromised or the immune system is compromised, our entire plan shifts. You can't just try harder over and over again. You got to redesign the system around the new reality. Sort of the same vibe here. And the brain of an octopus it's not really a brain. When people say octopus brain, they picture a centralized command center just like ours. But octopi nervous systems are more like a headquarters plus 8 highly capable field units. A huge chunk of their neurons are out in their arms, not tucked safely in their head. One review describes about 350 million neurons distributed across the arms and emphasizes how big the arm nervous system is relative to the central brain. That's where it starts to feel kind of like alien in my opinion, because an octopus can do so many complex things with an arm while the central brain is basically just supervising instead of micromanaging. And there's even a nerve ring at the arm basis. It's called the interbrachial commissure, and it helps coordinate across the arms as well. We tend to run on central planning biology, like the brain calls the shots and the body executes. But octopi lean more like distributed markets. Each arm has local processing, local action, and this whole system adapts fast. And that efficiency is in the entire decentralization of their entire process. But my favorite detail of it, because it's so One Health coded, is that octopi taste by touch. Their suckers actually have these things called chemotactile receptors, which mean that basically they're sampling chemicals through contact and not just smelling them in the water. Harvard did a write-up and it essentially broke down how these sensors sit right where the octopi actually interfaces with the environment, their actual suckers. So when an octopus reaches into a crevice where vision is useless, it's literally seeing with touch and chemistry. And yes, they've got a sharp beak and a radula set up to process prey. Again, systems, sensory input, local processing, action, feedback loop. That's the loop that wins. And when it comes to their camouflage, it works like pixels. If the nervous system is distributed, the skin is basically a living display. Cephalopods can generate complex patterns by expanding and contracting these things called chromatophores, which essentially are those color cells, pigment sacs essentially. Plus even deeper layer reflectors like iridophores and lucifores, and even change texture with muscular papillae. A current biology piece literally frames the skin as pixel resolution, with species varying from thousands to millions of chromatophores, which is insane. And that means an octopus is continuously rendering and running real time, make me look like this rock, but actually in a convincing fashion. When you land in a new country and you're trying to blend in, whether it's your clothes, whether it's your facial expression, your pace, camouflage is that, but biologically automatic and unbelievably high resolution is it's literally insane. And evolution chose this plan for a very specific reason. It wasn't aiming for intelligence. It's a trophy, but it was trying to build whatever increases survival and reproduction under constraints. There's a strong argument that shell loss changed the game for cephalopods. More predation pressure, more need for behavioral flexibility, more reward for learning and rapid adaptation. And cephalopods even evolved camera type eyes that are similar to ours, but arrived there independently. And that's a case of classic convergent evolution. So the octopus actually becomes a living reminder that the mind can emerge from very different architecture than the vertebrate brain like ours. And just one thing I want you to just think about. Just pick one system that you're interested in, whether it's a community health issue, whether it's a conservation project, whether it's your own habits, and just ask, where am I forcing central control when a distributed intelligence model would probably work better? Then change one tiny thing. You could delegate a decision. You could build a local feedback loop. You could move the sensing closer to the doing. That's what octopi ended up doing, and that's where their wisdom actually comes from. They're real proof that life didn't peak at the human template. So, where in your life are you assuming that the human way is the only way a system can work when a different architecture might actually fit better? But if you want to keep doing these breakdowns with me, make sure you follow, subscribe, and of course, there will be more coming. Thank you.